So, CJ, have you
Uh,
finished looking up what a trope is?
I do. I already did. I looked it up
you
like an
didn't know what
hour
a
ago.
trope was
I
before you
do.
got
I, I do. I do know what a trope is. I
you
just had to make
agreed to
sure
the
because I was very
trope
nervous.
conversation without knowing what the trope
No,
was?
I know what a trope is.
You guys don't bully CJ. He's very sensitive today.
I know what a trope is.
I'm only curious if because I love the go-getter attitude. If you were like, yeah, I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna talk about it for an hour, you know? I've done that
Uh,
before.
I think he just didn't
See,
have
I told you.
his prepared yeet or yoink.
no, I don't have that prepared. I didn't think that far ahead. I
Either
just found
join.
out, and I
Yeet or
kind of was
yoink?
so focused
Wait,
on doing work today that I was like, oh shit, I have podcast today. I haven't
is
looked at
it
anything.
yeet like you're tossing it and yoink is like I grab it. Is that it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there is so someone was updating the Bible for Gen Z, and instead of the Lord giveth, the Lord taketh, it was the Lord eateth, the Lord yoinketh away.
Oh my God, I love that.
Okay. Okay.
That's
I would
actually
read that
really
Bible.
funny.
As someone that has read the Bible before, unfortunately, I can say that I would enjoy this Bible way more.
I mean, it's like
I
the
saw
good.
Oh, I was just gonna say I saw a linguistics, I think, professor who was giving a speech to a bunch of middle and high schoolers, and
Oh, I love that!
did you
Yes!
see it?
I
Yeah, he
saw it. It's
swapped up his
amazing.
language in the middle of it. He's like, I'm going to deliver this in the language of your people, and then he's like, he switched effortlessly into Gen Z slang, and it was so
Oh, I
funny. He
love
was
that.
like,
It
"No
was
doubt you're a little
great.
sus, fam, because who is this? Man, I can't do it as well." He had all the slang, all in one
It was
glorious
great.
It was very
package.
good.
Where he was basically talking about how important it was to be able to communicate with people in language that is not your own, and that was like the summary of the speech. But he said it with all of the all of the different slang in there, and he was like saying cap and no cap and whatever, and it was very clever. And at the start, all the kids were giggling and they couldn't stop laughing because they were like, "Oh, who is this guy? Like, I can't believe he just said that word that did not belong in like a 30-year-old's mouth." And then halfway through, they actually started listening to him and paying attention, which was really interesting.
And it was a great like like speech. He actually said a lot of very truthful things about communicating with people that are different than you and expanding your worldview and a lot of things that the kids were like, you know what? Yeah, I fuck with that. I fuck with that a lot. Very cool.
Yeah. It was a good speech, and it was even better as like a demonstration of the importance of changing uh how you're saying stuff to an audience, but to your
Yes.
audience. So I don't know, it was really cool. I'll find the video and I'll send it to you guys.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I loved that. It was pretty good. Look, it blurs my microphone too, even when it's on my face.
I'm looking at a whole list of tropes, and I'm like, man, some of these I get, and then some of them I don't know. I mean, there's ones like bad guys who can't aim. It's like, well, if they could aim, the movie would be over, the book would be over because they just shot the protagonist in the head. There needs to be decent shots.
I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like that one either.
See, you can participate in the conversation.
Although, I
Congrats.
mean, the
I
most
knew I
notorious
was.
example is Stormtroopers. However,
I'm sorry,
it's
baby.
canonical that they
It's
just
okay.
can't
No,
see
no,
out
it's
of their
okay.
helmets. So,
Well, they definitely made that afterwards.
well, there's actually the other theory that they were so early in Star Wars. They talk about how accurate stormtroopers are because they murdered the crap out of all the Tusken Raiders, the Sand People, whatever. And then they continue to miss Luke, Leia, and Han as they're escaping. However, at that point, they know that there is a tracking beacon on the Millennium Falcon, so they are actually told to miss on purpose so that they can get in their ship, fly away, and lead them back to the rebel base. Which
Oh,
kind of checks out because in Empire Strikes Back, they're walking through and they're shooting down all the rebels in the rebel base.
True.
And in Return of the Jedi, um, they shoot a lot of Ewoks and they shoot a lot of the rebel soldiers. Princess Leia gets shot, R2-D2 gets shot. So there's some credibility there.
True. Step 1, make your enemies miss on purpose.
Yeah.
Step 2, figure out why they missed. Step 3, question mark.
Yes. Profits.
Profit. I just realized that this thing that I'm holding, I have like an exfoliator glove. It just says simp. I too am that guy.
The simp?
Yes, I too am
It's
that guy who speaks
perfect!
Gen Z language.
It's perfect.
did you share the video in the podcast channel?
I know,
so
I
you guys
saw.
can see
Ah.
it?
All right, so what's the trope you hate the most? I have mine.
Oh my god, forced
Um,
pregnancy.
Ah!
I hate like everything.
What is that one?
Eh, anything in general that is related to like I don't know if necessary is called forced pregnancy, but those things in which like the couple uh has sex or whatever, and then it's like, whoops, this was an accident. We didn't use protection. Whoops, she immediately gets pregnant, and then it's like, whoops,
Are
I
you
guess we
reading? 'Cause
have
I
to
don't
have
think
the
I've
baby.
ever-
I'm talking about Colleen Hoover.
Hey,
What?
because I'm like going through all of the books that I've read recently, and not a single one of them had this trope. So I wonder if it's more like inherent to a particular genre.
I have no idea what
It's
you're
a
talking about.
trope that is particular to like contemporary romance, which is not something that I read, but I do consume a lot of like book review content of people talking about books that maybe I wouldn't have read, but I want to know what the book is about and all of that. So I see that there has been like a trend of those things happening, or things like and this is something that I have seen when I used to read contemporary romance. I don't read that as much right now. Like the happy ever after of the couple is only a happy ever after if the woman is pregnant with children and there is like a family nucleus on it, which I really hate that, because like why are you choosing that as the only way that a couple can be happily? Like I want a spy novel in which the happy ever after is that they develop their own spy agency and they are super spies together. You know what I mean? Like, why does it have to be you
Have to
have to
probably
raise
write
a
it
family?
yourself. I
I
don't
think
know.
they wrote
Fuck!
that. It was a movie called Mr. and Mrs. Smith starring Brad Pitt
Oh,
and Angelina
that's
Jolie.
true. I never saw the movie, but I know what's about.
Got one I also hate here.
What?
From the horror books. Life by Virginity. Like the virgin gets away from they survive and they live happily ever
Yeah,
after.
the
But
final
because they're a
girl has to be
virgin,
a
yeah,
pure virgin.
yeah. Ugh, I don't like
I
that
feel like
one
we've
either.
gotten away from that one more recently, but that was very popular in like probably like the 70s and 80s, just because that was what they wanted to promote. Like, oh, look, you're the nice clean virgin, you get to live. Take notes, kids. So
Yeah, you can find a lot of really interesting social commentary for the times by investigating like horror movies, who the villain is, who
That's so
dies
true.
first, like what they're doing when they die too. Um, there's like a lot of like really cool history you can do an analysis of like, oh, it's just so cool. Who's making the movie? Who are they making it for? You know, how did they grow up? What are their
That's
values?
really
Who's gonna
good.
die? Like, oh, it's super cool.
There
That
is.
is, I took a class in high school that like explained horror in that way as like a social commentary or like a way to observe like a particular moment in time and totally changed the way I look at the genre.
There's a very good horror book that I read, I think, a couple of years ago called The Devil in Silver. I think I have recommended it before, by Victor. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I pronounce everything in Spanish, so I pronounce Victor LaValle, which is absolutely not correct. But I don't know if it's LaValle or
I think it's
LaValle or
Victor
something.
LaValle.
LaValle. But it has a few tropes that are like used regularly, but like they're very well used, I think. It's about this guy that gets put into a mental hospital because the police don't want to go through the trouble of processing him for jail, which I think it's like the most hilarious thing.
That is probably alarmingly realistic, actually.
Yeah, no, like it's a very realistic book, unfortunately. And a lot of the tropes like are around like how mental health is treated in like the like sometimes like in the healthcare system and everything, and they put stuff they put people that have stuff that is just like mild issues that they would just need therapy for, and they just shove them all into a place because they don't want to get to deal with them. And then the guy starts realizing like, wow, these people that I thought were like very problematic or everything, they just are human, complex human beings that have gone through shit. And the big evil is the company, the hospital. And like it is like a, I don't know if is a name, but like the trope of like there's a lot of people that are in a place and then they have to fight to against the big thing that puts them there. It's very cool, and it has very different people from different like marginalized communities, and it's also in New York City, and have things like the girl again, like another trope, like the girl that was a rebel, so their parents put her there so she can become better. It turns out that she wasn't really a bad person and was just a complicated teenager, but all of them are done in like a very good realistic way, and I really like that book. And the monster turned out to be just a human that was not like really that bad, and it was just people don't want to understand them. I love that book. I don't know the names of any of those tropes, but I've seen those used regularly in like different types of media and shit. I approve of those tropes when they're
Well,
used
what
correctly.
one I hate probably the most is when something is solved by like love's true kiss or something like that.
I hate that.
Like I specifically think
Does it
of
still count as that in the like I know you're still in there and
yeah,
like the power of love or friendship or
I
something
hate that.
wins the day over
I
like
hate
mind
that.
control or whatever?
yeah, like I
Does that
read
count? Is that a variation?
like 2 summers ago, I think it was. It was a TJ Klune book, and it was like kind of post-apocalyptic, and there was all these like kind of like robots controlled whatever, and like this kid who like they'd reprogrammed this one war robot, and they're all vaguely humanoid. And like then it like lost it had like its heart taken out or something like that, so it lost all its memories. And then he like kissed him at the end, and it brought all his memories back, and he came out became okay. I'm like, that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. But you can't like have all the memories in something, but then they still have all the memories out. I'm like, no, this is dumb. So
Baby, come here.
like I don't
Let me
actually
kiss
remember
you.
what happened in the story after that. I was just like checked out. I'm like, I hate stuff like that.
Oh, we're fixed! Oh my god! Oh,
What?
But no, I think that is an absolute cop out by any author that uses that.
I mean, it can be
It
cute
is a cop out. I
sometimes.
agree.
There was a but like in a good context, there's a series by James Riley. I don't know if the series is called Half Upon a Time series, but I know it's the first book. Anyway, one of my favorite things about it was that the two main leads, Jack and May, were like they were like very obviously going to end up together at the end, but they both hated each other's guts for like most of the series. It was very cute because they were like 12 and you didn't really expect them to love each other like instantly. But the thing that was great about it was like a fairy tale setting, and every once in a while the true love's kiss thing did come up, but there was one particular moment in the second book where Jack like he fell behind the sleep spell for like the Sleeping Beauty castle, and he got like dragged out and they were trying to wake him up, and like it was just May. She didn't know what to do. She was like whacking his head around, like shaking him, like screaming at him, all this different stuff, like trying to figure out any way she could do like wake him up. And of course they don't know that they're destined for each other. So she's like, ah, and then she's from like our world, so she knows about the trope of true love's kiss and was like, fine, I guess I'll just try it. Fine, whatever. And like she does, he wakes up, he doesn't know that he's been kissed, but he's like, am I drooling? And like wipes it away, and then it's never acknowledged again.
I love that. I know another instance of that is very cool that I really liked and within the context of the story. Like this one. This was very good contextually. Was very good. And this is like an extremely mild spoiler, but it's for like the third book in the saga, so it's like for the Lunar Chronicles. There are very obviously like the pairings. It's I talked about it like at one of the last things that we recorded. It's like Rapunzel with her prince and Cinderella with her prince and like the Red Riding Hood with the wolf, which is a human. Red Riding, well, not a humanoid, whatever, with the wolf and like Snow White with the prince. So like you know that it's kind of they're going to end up together. It's like for romances and everything. But um Rapunzel has like this crush with like the guy that's supposed to be her prince, which is Thorn. And he knows about it because he's like a well-known criminal and she was crushing over him, whatever. And he doesn't like her like that. He's like, you are too naive, you are too whatever. I'm a bad guy. You're gonna be tainted with me and whatever. But he says like that she wants to kiss him as like her first kiss and whatever. He's like, get the fuck out of here. He promised her that she wasn't going to die before being kissed. And it was like a promise that they made because they were like in a terrible situation, just the two of them. And then eventually more stuff happens in the book that they are about to die and he kisses her and it's like this very romantic moment. And then immediately after they like finish like the whole thing, you think that they're going to become a couple and everything. He just looks at her, he's like, okay, you didn't die, I fulfilled my promise, it doesn't mean I want to be with you, get the fuck out of here. And it's just so funny because it was just like the very stereotypically like, oh, they're gonna be a couple forever. And he's like, no, I still don't want to be with you. Please stop. And they end up getting together. But I like that. That was
Oh,
funny.
so it doesn't wait. So at the end of that, did they still end up together? I
Yeah,
thought
but
you were
after
leading to
like
like,
another book happens.
oh,
Like a
okay,
lot of
okay,
shit
gotcha.
happened more among them that they eventually realize. I don't think they actually start being an item, but they realize that they want to travel the world together because she
The
was imprisoned
really
in a
slow
tower. It's
burn.
Oh,
Rapunzel.
that's cute.
She's Rapunzel, and like his dream, he was in prison because he had stolen a spaceship because it's a sci-fi fantasy retelling. He has stolen
Yeah.
a spaceship because his dream was to travel around the world in a vessel that he could captain. So he ends up, and this is like the actual ending of all of the saga, he ends up being able to buy the actual spaceship that he had stolen, in quotes, from the American government because they pardoned him. And he's like, I don't have a crew. And she's like, I've always wanted to see the Earth because I have been imprisoned in this asteroid for a really long time. Let's just travel together. And their ending is just that they're going to travel around the world. And I love them so much. They're my favorite.
My,
Red Riding Hood is CJ's favorite.
It was? I don't remember. Which one was
Yeah,
this?
you told me you loved Scarlet and Wolf.
Man, that is such a
Oh, I
different
think so,
pronunciation.
yeah.
I
No, it
I
was
was I listened to the all of the audiobooks. So CJ, just by being in proximity with me, listened to the majority of the books too.
I told you I liked the Red Riding Hood. That's really funny.
Yeah, I mean I remember every time Scarlet appeared, you were like, "That's Scarlet! Oh shit, what happened now?" And it was
Oh
the only
yeah,
one that
no,
you
that's true. That
actually
is true.
cared about
No,
the
that
story.
that is true. I think it's just because I kept like listening in every time it happened. So I was like, wait, I recognize this. I recognize this. What's going on?
It is a very good series. I really recommend it. They have cool takes on like classic stories.
Have you read Marissa Meyer's Supervillains trilogy as well? I think it starts with Renegades.
I want to. That's the one that I pointed at you
So good.
when we went to Barnes and Noble. Yeah, I want to. I want to. I
It's so good. It's so good.
I want to. Yes, I want to.
Okay.
I'm thinking about other tropes.
I found one that I really like. But
Yeah, I'm
it's
gonna Google tropes too.
yeah. No, like I know
Google
this the
tropes.
one that I really like already outside of looking it up. But it's like more of like the so the one that I don't it's like two parts. It's two parts. I don't like the one where it's like, oh, it's the prophecy, you're like the chosen one, the super like, oh my gosh, you're gonna save the world. But I like the one where the prophecy is really vague and it just like you can just interpret it in any way that you want, and then like they end up doing it in the most unexpected way.
A
Um
D&D game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's funny. I guess so. But yeah, I like that because I just I don't know. I like the I think it's very similar to liking the one about uh I think there's like a weird oh no.
I thought I killed it and it was alive.
Oh no. It's like I think this one is more to like internet short stories than anything, but like the one about rules, I like that. The like the stories where it's like, oh, I can't do this or I can't do that, or like the don't feed it after midnight type deal. I think that's related to to that one in the way that I like it, I guess.
So the Gremlins rules. Can't feed them after midnight.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, gremlins.
I'm thinking of like we were for a while we were listening to and like reading a lot of like no sleep stories from like
Yeah.
Reddit. And a lot of those are like you don't go outside after midnight. You can't sleep in the closet in the bedroom at 12 a.m. or something. And it's just like a bunch of rules.
Oh my
I don't
God. I was gonna
remember.
say, I don't know if the rules are a trope, but oh my God, give me a good story that has a shit ton of rules, and then I can see one by one what happens when you don't follow the rules.
Yeah, I think that
I
has
love that
happened. I
shit.
think that's happened in enough stories for that to be a trope now, right? I
I
feel like
love
it's
that
not
Probably.
like
shit. It's
recognized, but I
so
think it's
good.
happened enough times.
Because it's like when you're like, I like it scratches a very similar itch on my brain that like when you read a detective story and you know that they're gonna figure it out, but you don't know how they're gonna figure it out. So you try to figure it out before they figure it out. And it's like your brain is working and then like they realize something and you're like, oh, it's probably this. And then it's like, oh shit, it was this other thing. It's like the same feeling of like you're trying to be faster than the book. And the rules thing is very similar in like I know this rule is going to be broken. I want to know how it's going to be broken and what's going to happen next. I love that shit.
I hate when stories introduce a rule though like that. Like they're like, oh, you can't or it's like a character just makes an offhanded comment and it's like, oh hey, you have to be careful about this one thing. And then it never comes up again. And it's like, oh, that rule would be so useful right now, but it just never shows up again and it's so frustrating.
And for that, you have to watch our video on how to figure out plot threads because there is a very specific advice that I give on not to leave those things lingering, people.
I mean, unless it's like a red herring.
Unless it's a red herring, yeah.
But if you just
Yeah.
kind of forgot about it, that's very different.
I think it's both like the problem that I have is like it's both like, oh, somebody like the writer just forgot about it, or they end up using it in like an extremely minor way. Like it's a very major thing. Like I think I'm thinking of the left right game. Do you remember?
Which one?
I'm thinking of the Hitchhiker. I feel like that guy had a lot of rules going on, and they only used one rule just to introduce backstory into one of the other characters. I think because
That
remember that
is true.
yeah,
You
and it
are right.
that always like rubbed
Excellent story, by the way. You should read it.
it's fantastic. That always rubbed me as like I feel like he's way more important, and I think they only used him for cheap exposition.
That's
Is
something I hate when the character exists
yeah.
only to like provide exposition. But
Oh,
CJ,
this is one of my tropes that I hate is when a character exists only to die.
Oh, I
mm,
I
hate that
hate
shit.
hate it when characters are introduced or like you'll meet them or you'll learn something like meaningful about their backstory, and you're like, oh no, I know what's coming.
Yeah.
I was reading a book recently where it was Darker by Four by June something. I don't remember. And it was a quite a good book overall, but there was one section where I don't even remember what the name of the character was because it was such a short-lived character. But like they showed up and were like, "Yeah, I don't really like this whole like monster hunting business, but I'm doing it so that I can support my younger siblings. And
Mm.
someday like we're all gonna be like a happy family together." And I'm like, "Don't you do it.
I hate
Don't
that.
you do it." And then immediately this character died. I was so mad.
I mean,
And it was like
that's
it was
basically the
so
equivalent of the cop that has the 6 weeks left till retirement.
yes, the retirement thing happens to you did that, Tim.
I
I
can't
was
believe
gonna
you
say
did that.
that is literally just us in D&D.
I did do that to you guys.
Oh, I completely forgot that
It was
Kardik is supposed to be like so depressed that he killed somebody. I kind of forgot about that.
That sounds like
A
Kartik.
lot
He would
happened.
100% just forget that he killed people. I
But not
I
to where every time reminded, he would probably go into a pretty depressive
So,
state again.
so this whole conversation reminds me of I guess it's technically a meme, but it was like a screenshot of Tumblr that I saw, and if I can find it again, I'll drop it on our podcast channel. It was the idea that these parents had there's this prophecy that wasn't going to come true because these parents had a son, but then the son came out as transgendered, and then they freaked out because the prophecy was that they had a daughter, and then they had to
we
figure
need
out what
to
to
you
do.
we need to
Like
write that.
they're like, oh shit, we didn't give you any sword
Oh my god,
training.
that's
We
so
didn't train
good.
you in magic. What do we do? We're terrible parents because we didn't abide by the prophecy. And I'm like,
It's like, oh my god,
sounds
we
really
should have
fun.
prepared you. I love that. There is
That's so good. I
this
love that.
I don't know, again, I don't know what the names of these things are, but it's like things that I see repeated enough that I am assuming that is tropes that I hate. It's a little bit more vague, but like I think it's related to promises that I made to that are made to the readers and they're not fulfilled. I remembered this book that I read last year. I actually spoiler for Everything You Ever Wanted by Luiza Sauma. That I really liked the very specific idea of the plot that is like people that are put into this very specific place because it's kind of like almost like a reality show in which people are constantly watching you and you're having like a more perfect life than everyone else, but like you are being watched. And the whole premise of the book is that, and like people knowing that they're watched, like if I remember correctly, and acting accordingly as like there is someone watching us. We have to make sure that we're not saying anything that would like make the people that are creating this thing upset. What would be the thoughts of the people watching us back home, blah blah blah. Like it, the majority, like 80% of the book was just all of the characters dealing with that. People start to die. They wonder if the people outside are wondering if like there's something wrong with the people dying and everything. And then kind of at the end of the book you realize that they stopped being watched several like years, decades before because like there was no way to maintain the thing and they were just left to die kind of situation. And basically that's kind of the end of the book. And I have read a lot of books that is like they are building up a very specific promise, and then in the end it's like, oh, by the way, this whole thing, this whole plot point that you had been committed to, yeah, it was never a thing. It's very similar to the it was all a dream kind of situation.
I know what you mean, but I think it's not always the author's fault. That's my theory. I was reading a book that is amazing and I recommend it to everyone. It's called Some Desperate Glory by Emily Tesh. And the book is I'm trying to figure out how to talk about this ending without spoiling anything. I will just say
But
that
I spoiled
the
the whole
book is
thing.
like I'm not going to spoil the whole thing because it's an amazing read and I
Oh,
don't
okay.
want to take that away from anyone. But the book is like pretty dark in tone. There's
Mm.
like a lot of discussion about like like genocide. The premise of it is that like Earth was destroyed by humans, or not humans, by aliens, and there's like a small human section that's like survived. They were like in space at the time, and they're like surviving on this like, hellish space station, and their whole like mission on the space station is to avenge Earth because, like everyone else died. And so even like that premise is so dark. And then at the end, there's lots of stuff that happens, but like there is a very clear ending that the book is building up to. And then like all of a sudden, like more people than expected are okay. And I'm like you're reading it as like with all the themes because the rest of it's quite dark. You're like, I do not believe that was the original ending. Like I want to actually reach out to Emily Tesh and talk with her because
I think you
I
should
would
do it.
love to ask. I was actually thinking I might, because I've been recommending the book to everyone, and I still recommend you read it. But it's not an issue for me. It doesn't break my enjoyment of the story because I can see very clearly what it was all leading up to, and I'm reading it with the original ending in mind. It's not subtle. The happy ending is not subtle. It's like, oh, people are alive. Okay. Sure. Yeah, all right, I guess. But you have to wonder, like, I don't know.
I
It was a broken promise, but it doesn't feel like it was the author's fault because
It
my interpretation is that someone in the publishing sphere looked at it and went, "We can't end the book like that. We have to give our readers a happy ending."
There is something that I know Sanderson is problematic, but I did like learn a lot of like advice from like the classes that he has on YouTube, the writing classes. And I think one of the things that resonated more with me was his talk about promises. And I think it's like very to what you're saying, Sabrina, that is like he uses the metaphor, I'm gonna butcher the metaphor though, of like you're promising you have a kid and you're promising your kid a toy, like a toy car. And then you're promising them a toy car. You're talking about toy cars. You say you're going to get a toy car for Christmas, and then Christmas comes and the kid gets a toy car. They're happy. Another option is you're talking about toy cars. Toy cars are cool, whatever, blah blah blah. And then for Christmas you give them a toy airplane. Well, yeah, they might like it, but like they were excited about getting a toy car. Another, I think it's like four options. Another option is they get you promise them a toy car and then at the end you give them one of like the little kids cars that they can actually drive themselves, so it's better than a small toy car. And then the last one, which is my favorite, which I think is kind of what you were talking about, Sabrina, is that you start talking about toy cars and then you're like you're gonna get a toy car, but then you casually start mentioning that airplanes are kind of cool. And you're like, and the kid's like, oh, wow, I kind of like airplanes more, but I guess I'm getting a toy car. Sad. And then eventually they do get the airplane because it's what they wanted originally. And they're like, oh, I got bamboozled. I actually wanted the airplane and I got the airplane. And that's kind of like ways of treating promises within your books and like how you can either fulfill them or give your readers better, but never give your readers less. That I feel like maybe the ending, since you still really like the book, might have been the airplane because it's like it was very grim and you're like, yeah, I know this is gonna suck, but I think these people need a break and they deserve a happy ending. And then oh shit, they did get a happy ending. So I think it was very correctly like made, even if it wasn't the original intention at first.
You didn't butcher that, by the
Good way
way.
of
That's
looking
pretty
at
good.
it.
Oh,
I'll
thank you.
have to share that with my sister who had the same feeling. And you should read the book and then we can talk about it properly.
I want to read it. I've been reading so much. This book that I've been reading is one of my favorite books of the year, guys. It's amazing. It's called Wicked Flavors by Azalea Crowley. I can't stop talking about it. And it was one of my favorite tropes the whole time, which is just like a deal with the devil, because I'm a sucker for those kinds of things. And I really like the way that the deal with the devil is. It's the one that I told you, Sabrina.
wait, what is this book
Uh,
called?
Wicked
Wicked
Flavors.
flavors.
I am not going to spoil this book because I do recommend everyone to read it. I've been trying to tell every single person that I talk to please ask them to read this. it's a deal with the devil that the person that does the deal just basically is like, I'm going to get fucked. Okay, you're gonna get fucked as well. Devil, I will ruin your life as much as you're ruining mine. So it's like a very, like, it's like the banter between the human that made the deal and the devil that is very enjoyable, and it's made in this very good, like, way.
Oh, the
And
old
it
out
also
Satan
treats
Satan bit.
autism and like has neurodivergent and chronic illness representation very well because it's also like a neurodivergent chronically ill author. Very cool. Really recommend it. Really love the way that I love the trope, but I also really love the way that they use the trope there. Excellent. I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
What are tropes? Like, name at least one trope that you have put in something that you have made, and if you like it or not.
I haven't made anything.
That is a lie. You have stories. I know about them.
Well, I mean, clearly we just discussed in D&D that I did the 6 week star retirement thing.
You
Uh,
did.
And it hurt
And I don't know if I'll
everyone.
ever
You hurt
truly forgive
everyone,
you for
Tim.
it.
um,
Your smile
Why is
got
it a
so
peanut butter?
big.
What is this?
I looked up the Wicked Flavors, and Puppet by Ryan J. Powell was a suggested read, and it definitely looks like a very sad, kind of sexual version of peanut butter on bread. So that
Oh
felt
my
like it's
God.
necessary to
Can we
share.
can we make that an avatar?
What are you guys talking
What?
about?
Podcast channel.
It looks like cursed rock, but on bread.
It
Okay,
actually does. It's
I
first bread.
I can, as long as I don't make the eyebrows be that expression.
Don't
Like, I
don't
can
do
just
that.
make it
No, don't do that.
normal expression like Curse Rock. But I think
Okay.
the expression that the bread is making is taking it too far.
Yeah, that's
For
too
those
far.
who
Too
are not
far.
able to see the image, it is a like piece of sliced bread with peanut butter on it in front of this iridescent background, and then on the piece of bread with peanut butter on it is a very cartoony frowny face, but like with the eyes they're unnaturally like tilted down to look even more sad. And then there's another image of those eyes behind the piece of bread as like a transparent overlay
Wait,
on
I
the
can see
iridescent
those.
background.
But it's like,
Yeah,
oh
it's
no,
really
I'm
something.
so
And then
sad. Kind
and
of
then the
I
sad.
didn't
title
see
is
those.
the title is an extreme horror story, Puppet, an extreme horror story, and then behind Puppet, which is in like a gothic, what would you call it, like a black letter font or something like
Yeah, I
that,
think it's kind of
um
black letter.
is like blood stained like spatters.
Also, is that cartoony? I think that's more like drawn, like one step below realism or inked or something,
It's
right?
It does
unnerving.
look like
It's an
semi-realism
unnerving
a
look.
little bit.
I'm trying to
Semi-realism.
tell what it said, what the tagline on the cover is.
I will sacrifice myself and look for it. Puppet, an extreme horror story. Puppet, the dollhouse. It's not this one, probably. Yeah, no, it's this one. It says, oh, holy goddamn. Uh, wow. Basically, depraved. It says depraved is too small a word. Do you wanna? Okay. Do you want me to read the blurb?
Not really.
Why?
I don't give a fuck. It's book 2 out of 3. Miss Teacher hates children but loves them all the same, especially boys, especially Charlie, until Puppet is ready to play. I hate this book. I'm not going to read it.
Oh no.
I
I
hate
don't
this.
know about that.
I hate this. I do not want.
Is it
Nope. I don't
framed
even
as a
want to know
bad
what it is
thing?
about. Oh no! It's worse, guys. It's worse.
That's a
It's a
3.39 on
I guess
Goodreads.
don't tell
it's
me.
a book series, which means that it's actually the second book in the series. The first one is called Dollface, and it's a cherry. The
I hate
second
that word.
one
I hate that
is
more. Don't make that one an
Puppet.
avatar.
The second one is
Oh
Puppet,
no.
which is the bread one, and the third one is Dolly and Pip. I won't continue the actual ending of the title because we're not demonetized on YouTube, but I feel like YouTube, it would be enough for
Oh
YouTube
no!
to close our channel.
Oh
And it
no!
has just the faces of the cherry and the bread. And it's about a doctor, very similar to the other two, which I am traumatized, guys.
We've found some shit today.
Yeah.
Yeah, tropes.
Is it Pip the puppet and Dolly the? Never mind.
I don't want to know.
I don't want to know either.
Honestly, I do not want to know. Sabrina, what about you? What trope have you put in shit that you have created?
I don't know if this entirely counts because it's an adaptation of another book, but
I
one
say
of
it
the
counts.
I've been this I don't think this entirely counts because I've just been ideating on this one. I haven't technically written anything down, but I've been
But you
thinking
have
about it.
created it in your brain. It counts.
But um I am a real sucker for like shadow power tropes. Like
Oh,
you know when
yes!
people get like a fully dark eyes and then they like whoosh into shadows. Like oh, I
Oh,
love that.
I love that.
And the recent example that I was thinking of that I've been trying to develop more because I don't actually know what the story would be, only the character because I think it's a really cool character, would be the shadow powers, but like as a like a coping mechanism for sensory processing difficulties. So like the eyes go all black, but it's more like sunglasses than anything
Yeah.
really
I
nefarious.
love that.
Or like the character has like a hood, like a deep cowl, but it acts as like a muffling so that the world isn't quite as
You need
overstimulating.
to write that because
And
I would
everyone
read the
thinks
shit
that
out
they're
of that.
very edgy, but actually they're just overstimulated all the time.
I love that. CJ, what about you?
I have no idea. I
You
didn't
have
get
your
to
superhero
finish. I didn't
story.
get to finish this one, but I think for D&D I made like I had
Oh,
a character who was like the idea was that they were supposed to be like that they looked like super evil and like menacing and everything because they were just like a hood that would just like kind of not really move, and they would just go up to people and people would be like really scared and they just hand them a little pamphlet and then they just walk away. And I feel like the trope there would is like the evil person is like the super menacing person is not the evil one kind of thing. But I didn't get to finish it, but that was not the intention. I just know that that's a trope.
was that the place where Belladonna's from in your
Yeah,
campaign?
yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I can explain that a little bit better if you guys want me.
That's okay. I think we follow it. I mean, I think that's. I actually had the idea one at one point to write something, and I never did anything with the idea. Is basically like how necromancy is always like the bad magic. The idea was like, all right, well, the necromancer is just a guy trying to be the hero, but all he can do is bring bodies back. So he's like trying to like, hey, I'm a doctor, and then he like brings people back
Yeah,
from the dead.
that's good.
I like
But
that. I like that a
I didn't
lot.
know where to go with it, so
There's a an online book called The Wandering Inn, I think. And one of the characters in it gets her leg shattered. And they like all of the traditional doctors can't do anything about it because it's like a fantasy world. But like the health potions will just heal the bones, but like broken in the leg. And her friends like take her to this like special doctor, and they have to find this like edgy necromancer who's living like on the fringes of town, and the only way to repair her like super duper broken leg is by using very sketchy death magic because he had a better understanding of bones and how they all fit together than like any other healer around. And it ends up working out, but that's what it makes me think of.
I
yeah,
love that.
that's probably pretty similar to where I would have gone with it. But I didn't have enough to go on, so I just was like, we'll just leave that one. That can be another episode. What are some of the ideas that you had that were you thought were good, but you never did anything with?
I've got one.
We'll save it for that episode.
No, but it's really weird. It's really weird and it would be good for this one.
Okay.
I'll be brief. It was about it was about a human who woke up like way after humans have vanished from the earth, but now it's like a society of geckos and all the geckos can like communicate. I was really in
Great
depth on this
overview.
like they had like a whole writing system that the human cannot comprehend because they have to scuttle around on rocks and then like the noise that the scuttling makes is how
So
they're like transmitting messages. So you have to
so it's
like
not even like
follow.
humanoid geckos, they're just like normal geckos like this
No,
big
no,
stuff.
like
Okay, that makes it even better.
nothing humanoid about them. Anyway, the human had to be brought back because they like there was some kind of secret weapon or something that was hidden in like a little cold sphere, and the only one who could survive is someone who was warm-blooded.
Oh my God. You know what
I
is
like
That's
that.
a
great. That's great.
trope
Thank you.
that it's not a trope, it's just like a weird idea that we saw in the new season of Dimension 20. That it's Ho is the season. It's not really a spoiler. It's just like a fun
It's
thing
so
that
good.
happened. One of the things that happens in the world, I guess this would be the spoiler, is that there is a specific mushroom that like makes living beings in its proximity switch like within like another species. So you eventually see that they have like carnivorous giraffes and then panthers that live in trees and eat fruit. But and it's like the whole thing's like you also see how like the descendants of the animals and the creatures that were changed and put into another species bodies eventually start mutating to adapt to that way of living, and the giraffe is like in the middle of that process, so their eyes are kind of like in the middle of going, I think, from the sides to the front, and like it has like not fangs, like more carnivorous teeth, but it's not quite there yet. So it's like it's not doing a very good job at eating meat. But the fun thing is that that happened with a group of humans, which were like a Roman soldier legion that got sapped into that world because it's like a whole like interdimensional thing with and landed at the same like spot where dinosaurs were sapped eons ago, and they get accidentally like switched with what were the dinosaurs?
Velociraptors.
Raptors. The humans got switched with the raptors, got into a panic, ate their human bodies, and they were stuck into the raptors' bodies. I don't know, centuries later, they meet the people, the heroes from like the actual D&D campaign that's happening. Their major gripe is that they are really good at making wine, but they don't have opposable thumbs to actually be able to serve it properly. Their main thing is like, humans, please! And they're like, oh shit, here we go. They're going to give us a quest. Something's gonna happen. We're gonna have to kill someone. They're like, can you serve us some wine? We wanna know what it tastes like. It's amazing.
They have cups.
They have cups, and they were
A
trying
lot
their
of
best
cups.
to serve the wine. They just couldn't drink it very well. And every human that they encountered, they accidentally ate because they got hungry.
Accidentally?
Yeah, they got hungry.
They got hungry. They were like, food. And they were like, oh, fuck.
The scientists, and they were like, "How long until we get opposable thumbs?" And they're like, "I mean, like if you keep, going at it," and then they just ate them.
Maybe in a couple 500 years, maybe you would evolve enough to develop opposable thumbs. And they were like, that's too much time.
They were doing eugenics.
Get opposable thumbs?
To get
It didn't
opposable
work.
thumbs, yeah.
It didn't work.
I don't know where to go with that. The conversation lapsed, and I was like, how do I contribute?
What do you follow up with that? I don't know.
I
don't
mean,
know.
that the gecko thing
Geckos
reminded me
with
of
opposable
that.
thumbs. Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna give
Tropes,
this to
man.
Rosetta to edit. She's gonna be like, what are these people talking about? This is nuts.
Yeah.
But
I like horror. So this is a trope that is used a lot in horror, but I don't see it used a lot in like a way that it adds to the story. And it's just like surprise ghost. It's like that things are happening and you don't really think that the story is going to be supernatural, and like in the end, ooh, it turned out that it was supernatural all along, but nothing pointed out to be there, because it feels like a cop out to me. Like There have been a lot of like books that I've read that are like thrillers or suspense or anything that you believe that it's like there's a serial killer or there's like a person that lurking, or it's like maybe someone in the house is killing people or like doing things, and everything's like, ooh, turned out that it was a ghost. And I feel like it's very rare that I see that used properly. Not that I dislike it necessarily, but it feels almost like Deus Ex Machina. And I'm thinking about a very specific book that I read. I was going through my Goodreads because I didn't know what I read. And it's this book called Horrid by Katrina Leno, which the majority of the book is very, very grounded in reality. And it's very like people are afraid of this house because bad things happen and everything. But it makes you believe that it's like people are being judgmental towards the people that live in the house, or like they're not being accepted of outsiders, like all of those things. A lot of the weird things that happen are very easily like dismissed as like there are teenagers that were like throwing pebbles to the house, like shit that happened that were kind of like either that or the people living in the house gone crazy. And then it's like, oh, you were haunted all along. And it's like, okay, give me something else. Like I was haunted. Okay, explain to me how this is like the
I feel like if that's
insanely fucked
properly
up reveal.
foreshadowed, it can work, but if it just comes out of nowhere, that doesn't.
Exactly. That's why it's like I don't dislike it, but I don't see it used properly enough.
I feel like more often than not, people like they go down like, oh, it's haunted, and then they swerve at the end, and it's not haunted. Like, very rarely do they
I
Well,
go,
like that.
oh, it's
I think that's
haunted, it's not
creepier.
haunted, it is haunted.
Yeah, I
There
like
was
that a lot.
a supernatural episode like that where their whole thing is that they're two brothers who go around to haunted houses more or less and then like banish the ghosts. And they went to one and they like could not figure out why none of their ghost hunting things were working and it ended up not being haunted at
It's
all.
Scooby Doo.
Well, it was creepier than Scooby Doo. They were like
No,
children skittering around in the floorboards.
no. I know, supernatural, but I think that's the premise of Scooby Doo, that the monsters were humans all along.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Except for occasionally they weren't. Oh my God. What's New Scooby Doo had an actual coral reef monster.
Yeah,
It's
there's a
crazy.
lot of like I think like the movies, and then like there was like I think
Yeah.
one spin-off series or reboot series, whatever, where they actually had like real monsters. But yeah, everything from like the 70s and 80s, like they were all just
Yeah, or
ass.
They were
regional.
all
Yeah.
just like crooked businessmen, but like every once in a while you'll be watching like a Scooby Doo episode
And you're like,
and then
whoa!
it's resolved with like, oh, that was a cryptid. You're like,
I love
what?
cryptids.
Okay.
I'm gonna see my
Yeah.
year in books 2023. How can I see that? Go to previous year. Oh, I didn't
I
read a lot.
haven't eaten anything today.
Yeah, I was gonna
So
say I
I'm
think
going to
we should
Oh, wait, we're done.
Oh, we
yeah, we
haven't
I
should
eaten
didn't
wrap this
see the
one
breakfast. Or
up.
no,
I didn't
lunch.
see the time.
Yeah,
Okay, bye.
we'll go ahead and end this one.
I
Tell us what
skipped
your
breakfast
favorite and
and
least favorite
lunch.
tropes are. Eventually we'll name the show and we'll talk to you
Please tell
later.
us in the
Wait, do these come
comments.
with an intro?
Nope.
Okay.
Not right now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.